Hello everyone, it's Elka1993 here, bringing you a new deck of mine. And it doesn't really have a really obvious name like Dino Rabbit or Mermail or, I don't know, Zombie or Chaos. I just call it my Blazing Xyz deck since some of the main cards are, fire attribute and, well, I Xyz quite often in this deck. Sort of. Yeah, it's kind of a deck that it's not like a specific archetype or a specific kind of cards that work together. This deck is just a lot of cards brought together that just do well together. And I suppose if you have to find a main focus of this deck, it's the Volcanics, because I have Volcanic Rocket and Volcanic Shell, and then 2 copies of Blaze Accelerator in this deck. And here I mill both of my Blaze Accelerators, and I'm like, what? No. I haven't used this deck too much. I've actually started testing it today, done like 3 duels with it. What I never realized, I did realize that you can get Volcanic's Rocket's effect off of any summon, so flip summon, special summon, normal summon. What I did not realize, because I just didn't read it properly, I just assumed that the Blaze Accelerator card had to come from the deck, and it says deck or graveyard. So I never use Volcanic Rocket's effect in this duel, because I think it can only come from the deck, and since I just milled both of my 2 copies that I have in my deck, I thought I couldn't use it. Which my opponent was surprised by, and right after I stopped recording, he told me about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, facepalm, but I guess that happens. And here you go, Strategist Stratos for some reason. Probably too used to playing Elemental Heroes. But I like playing Ice Barriers. You don't play them too often. Let's see what I get here. Oh yeah, Store Drawing. I missed them. These aren't too bad of mills. Would prefer like a light and a dark for BLS, but I'll keep them for later, I guess. Let's see my lights. I have Rico in this deck. Once, and then Lila twice, and then 2 copies of Summoner Monk, and then Gores, and I believe I also have 1 Tragodia, or 2. I think 2. Yeah, so that makes 5 darks and 3 lights, I think, but I cannot remember exactly. So that's why I only have BLS and no other like chaos monsters, because it just doesn't really work too well if you have more. And BLS is just too good to leave out of the deck if you have the chance to summon him. If it's not like only 1 or 2 dark or lights, then I wouldn't really use it. But as I said, I have like 3 lights and like 5 or 6 darks. And here comes this General Guntala. I can't remember ever. I've played Ice Barriers before, but not something with him, and that card is actually quite good. Luckily, in his next turn, he's going to make it very easy for me. Now here I'm like, what do? I kind of want to go Xyz with Volcanic Rockets, and then something. I don't want to do that with Royal Firestorm Guards because I want to keep its effect for later, because it's pretty much a pot of avarice for Pyros. When it's summoned and you have 4 or more Pyros in your graveyard, you target those 4 Pyros, shuffle them back to your deck and draw 2 cards, so you can get a +1. And you can get the Volcanic Shells back in your deck, so you can get them back in your hand by a Volcanic Shell effect or just by drawing, and then send them to the graveyard, again with Blaze Accelerator. And then Royal Firestorm Guards and Volcanic Rocket make up the rest of the Pyros. Now here I didn't go for Star Drawing like he expected, because I could have Xyz'd, but then like what would I really have done? Maybe my stroke in defense, but I couldn't really stop him. What I was going for here, I was just hoping for some good mills, including at least 1 Volcanic Shell. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna add a shell to my hand because this already makes 2 Pyros in my graveyard. Then Rocket will be my 3rd, the one currently on the field, and then I'll see what the 4th will be, if it'll be a mill for later or not. I don't really get 2 good mills that I can really do too much with, so I just switch to defense and see what he does. Here he plays, I believe he has Smashing Ground in this turn. Did he? I believe so. Yep, Smashing Ground takes out my strongest defense monster, which is Volcanic Rocket. And then he uses Compulsory Evacuation Device to put a Card Trooper back in my hand, which I didn't mind too much. It does give me damage, but it lets me summon Gores. So, positive and negative. Probably not what he would have liked, but, you know. Dodo. Right, I draw a second Card Trooper. I have 3 Pyros in the grave. If I summon Card Trooper now, will I get the third? I mean, 4th. Let's see, Card Trooper summon and using its effect to mill 3 more cards and get it at 1900 attack points. And there's Volcanic Shell, there's your 4th. And I get Rico. So I could have used BLS here. I was afraid of his back row, even though it was only 1. I was afraid of his back row, because if it would have been like Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, and he would have kept it for like later, like when I would summon something like BLS, then I'd be kind of screwed, because the only thing I could really do is use Royal Firestorm Guards to draw some more, and I wouldn't really have anything really big anymore, because I already have one of my Summoner Monks milled as well. So I didn't want to take that risk. In the end, it turned out to be an MST, so I could have just used BLS there and attacked and dealt a heavy load of damage by just using Card Trooper and the token on the 2 defense monsters, Gores on general. No, wait, not Gores on general. BLS in general, direct attack, and then Gores. Here we play Surface, gets back his prior, then tributes itself to get general back. Which means I'm gonna get hit for another lot of damage on Card Trooper, which isn't too nice. Another 2300. So he kinda is at full HP. That's Pokemon. Full life points, and I'm at 200. So I wanted to not play risky, but then in a way I do have to play risky because I just need to deal a lot of damage and quick. But I really don't want to summon Card Trooper, because even though I would mill cards and I have 1900 attack, that does mean that during his turn I have a 400 attack points monster, and that's not really good. Because then he can just summon anything of 600 attack or higher and just beat me, and I don't have anything to stop it. I do have Solemn Judgment now, which is a good thing. So I'm gonna play Solemn Judgment down at the end of this turn, so I can stop him. I was at this point in the duel, I was like, yes, I'm gonna use Solemn Judgment whenever he tries to do that one move that can stop him, like beat me. I'm gonna use Solemn Judgment and pay a massive 100 life points to stop his move, and then keep on going. And here comes the Pyro Pot of Avarice. Royal Firestorm Guards. When this card is normal summon, you target 4 Pyro-type monsters in your graveyard. Shuffle all 4 into the deck and then draw 2 cards. Now, since it's target 4 Pyro-type monsters and not up to 4, you need at least 4 Pyros in the grave to be able to even activate this effect. No, wait, since it's mandatory, it will activate, but if there's no 4 monsters, then it will actually resolve without effect. And if before resolution, like in a chain or something, one of the Pyros, like of the 4, is banished for some reason, then it won't resolve, because you still need to shuffle all 4 back. You can't like shuffle 3 back. That doesn't work. And here he puts BLS back in my hand, so it wasn't an MST after all. But I could have summoned BLS last turn at least. But that wouldn't have made that much of a difference. But now I do still have a Summoner Monk. Yeah, I have Summoner Monk. What I want right now is Lila. Lila Lightsworn Sorcerers. I have 2 of them. 2 Lilas in my deck, and I really want one of them in the graveyard. So it's like, I can use Card Trooper for that. But why? Look, how? I mean, like, if I use Card Trooper, then, and I don't get Lila, then he can just attack me, and that's not very good. So here I'm really debating what to do. In the end, I decide to go Xyz Summon into Photon Papilloperative and just attack into his monster after having used its effect, and do things that way. Because I didn't really see too many other options that I could go with. So that's 1800 attack on Spirit Reaper, well, damage on him. His turn, he switches him back to defense. And that does mean that if I target him again next turn, that he'll be targeted while face up, so he will get destroyed if I use Papilloperative on him. Now, I believe it's here that I take the risk with Card Trooper. Is it, or is that next turn? Because I do still want the Lila. Too bad that Star Drawing isn't like a light. I really would have liked that. Because it's kind of like a monster that could have been light. So here I do decide to take the risk. 14 cards left. 2 of them are Lila. Like, no. No. Dang it. It's a dark. So here I was just hoping that he would not draw or search into any monster that has at least 600 attack. If he did, I still had Solemn Judgment, so that's fine, but yeah, it's kinda iffy. Here, one more attack from me will do the trick. Because I attack with the Card Trooper because I knew that then only Papilloperative would need to direct attack once more. But here he decides to take down my face down, which is all just with MST. I'm like, dang it. That must mean that he has a monster of at least 600 attack. He's just taking down the back row to ensure that his attack goes through, which it does, because I believe he drew to another prior. And he doesn't even try to tribute it and summon General back as the big guy. He just uses prior because it's still one of the big guys in his deck. Well, big guys, it is very helpful in getting out General, which he proved to me in this duel. Like right after I'm gonna end this, after I end this recording, we talk about Volcanic Rocket's effect also being able to search from the graveyard. That would have definitely helped because I got a couple of volcanic shells in my hand and stuff, and then I would have been able to destroy some of his monsters, and I do believe that I would have won, would I have realized that was possible. Unfortunately, I did not, so I guess I just thank BozzLightyr for the duel, and I'm going to see you guys later when hopefully my throat will be hurting a little less, because it's kind of annoying, and I've been coughing like a lot. And look where Lila is, like, it took so long to get there. The other one was like at the bottom 3. So here he still doesn't have a clue what it is, and that's logical, because as I said at the start, it's not really one specific archetype or attribute or type or something like that. It's just cards that work well together, and I like the deck for that reason, because you don't really see too many of these kind of decks anymore that do really well competitively. And I've lost one duel, well, this will be my second, and then I've won 2, and I'm very happy with how it works. It's not the best deck. There is no best deck, but competitively speaking, if you would play, let's say, 1,000 matches, well, duels, then there are other decks that would win more than this, very likely. But I still really like it, and that's why I made a video with it. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you later.